Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to learn one of the HackerRank problems called the cats and a mouse. So first, let's read the question and try to understand what is this problem. It says that the two cats and a mouse are at various positions on a line. They're basically two cats and one mouse. They are on a straight line but at various positions. You will be given the starting positions. So the input will be like the positions where both these cats are standing as well as the mouse is standing. Now your task is to determine which cat will reach the mouse first. Assuming the mouse doesn't move and the cats travel at equal speed, right? Your task is to find out which cat will actually be able to reach the mouse first and eat that mouse. And yes, both the cats move at the same speed and mouse does not move. But yes, the mouse can move in some particular situation. You can just read out here. If the cats arrive at the same time, the mouse will be allowed to move and it will escape while both the cats fight. So the mouse is allowed to move only in those situations wherein both the cats reach the mouse at the same position and they fight among themselves and the mouse escapes. Right? So we have understood what is the input is. Like they'll be giving you the starting positions of both the cats and the mouse, and your job is to find out which cat is going to actually reach the mouse first, or in case if both reach at the same time, then the mouse escapes. Right? Let's try to understand this with some better examples. There's some input which is provided here. It's like the input will be like the position of cat A, position of cat B, and the mouse position. Like if you just observe this input, the cat A is position 1, cat B is position 2, mouse is at position 3. Right? So now, if both the cats move the equal speed, then who will reach mouse first? Obviously cat B, because much closer to mouse. Right? So that is the reason the cat B is output. But if cat A is at position 1, cat B is position 2, sorry, position 3, and mouse is position 2, something is mentioned here. Now, please do remember, cat A moves towards this mouse which is in forward direction, cat B moves again towards the mouse in the backward direction. Right? They both reach the mouse in the same position. Remember, cat B is moving in the direction where the mouse is. If it is backward, it will move backward. If it is mouse is forward, it will move forward. So since both reach at the same position, right? So the mouse will escape. We will try to understand this with better examples and few more. The same example what we just saw, it's been specified here. We have cat A and cat B, and then we are basically saying that okay, they move at the same speed. Now the cat B moves at one position here, and at the same time cat A moves here, and you can just observe after 1 unit of time the cat B actually reaches the mouse, and that is the reason why the cat B is the winner, because he will the cat B will be able to reach the mouse first. Now here this moves in this direction and this moves in this direction. In 1 unit of time both reach the mouse at the same time. So and the cat A and cat B fights and the mouse escapes. Let's try to look at this example again. Now cat A basically takes 2 units of time to reach mouse. Cat B takes 3 units of time to reach it. Right? Which moves faster? The cat A moves first towards the mouse. So because it takes 2 units of time, but cat B takes 3 units of time. So cat A is the winner. Right? Now in this case you can just observe both the cats move in the backward direction because mouse is the first one. So this will also move here. It takes 1 unit of time to reach, but this takes again 1, 2 and then 3. So cat A is again the winner. I hope the problem is understood. right? So let's move into the implementation. The input will be the position of cat A, position of cat B, and the mouse. We'll try to ask the user to enter the starting position of cat A. Right, let me just expand this. Okay, the user enters this. I'll just mention it as cat A itself. Int cat A. Similarly, there will be cat B and there will be mouse. So we'll try to read the position of cat A, cat B, and the mouse. This is my cat B, and this is the starting position of the mouse. Now what is the job? To find out the distance between cat A and the mouse, the distance between cat B and the mouse. So how do we get the distance? We can get the distance by doing a simple subtraction. We can just say the cat A minus mouse will give the distance between the cat A and the mouse. Like if you just look into the examples and then see, assume the cat A was as position 1 and then mouse was as position 3, right? This is my cat A and cat B, sorry, cat A and the mouse, and assume that the reverse. Cat A is at position 3 and the mouse is position 1. Now here the difference between these two, the cat and the mouse, is actually 2, and here also the difference is only 2. But if I just do a subtraction here, 1 minus 3 and 3 minus 1, you won't get the same output. Here you get minus 2 and here you get 2. Yes, the 2 is common, but one is in the positive direction, one is in the negative direction. And yes, as we have looked into it, the cats actually move in the direction of the mouse, right? So if the mouse is ahead, we'll just move forward. If the mouse is behind, the cats moves in the backward direction. So we need to only know the distance. We need not worry about the direction. So if you want to only consider the difference in the distance and not worried about forward or backward, then what we should do it is we should not be worrying about the sign, like is it negative or is it positive. So if you want to do that, we have to actually take the absolute function. We have to take the help of absolute because we are not bothered about the direction, we are only bothered about the value. So I'll just capture this into a simple variable called as x. So I'll just use absolute value here because I'm not worried about the direction. Now the same way I'll also try to use another variable. Let us say y. So it will be cat b minus mouse. Right? Now if x is less than y, meaning the distance between cat A and the mouse was lesser than the distance between cat B and the mouse. The cat A was more closer to mouse, so cat A will be able to reach it. I need to print cat A. Otherwise, if y is less than x, or I can say x is greater than y, either of it. So it means that the cat B is nearer to the mouse because y is lesser when compared to x. So I'd like to print that it is cat B. But in case if both these conditions are false, neither x is less than y, neither y is less than x, it means that they are equal. If they are equal, then as we have seen that both the cats, when they reach at the same point, then they fight among themselves and the mouse is allowed to move and the mouse escapes. So we'll just see that it is mouse, right? Okay, let's try to verify this. So let me just try to compile this. Cats and mouse. Okay, so we require a header file for using this ABS. The header file will be stdlib.h. Perfect. Now let me try to run this. position of A, the position of A. Let me just give the input as what is we have seen in the examples. 1, position of B was 2, and mouse was 3. You can just see cat B is closer to the mouse because the difference between them is only 1. So you can just see that the output was cat B. So you can again rerun the code and you can observe that cat A is at 1, cat B is at 3, and the mouse is position 2. Now the difference is exactly 1 and 1, and mouse wins. So this we can verify with various inputs. Let's go back to the question which is present in HackerRank and try to see is this sufficient or do we need to do something more of there. Let's go back to this question. Now, if you look into this question here, it says that the first you're given Q queries in the form of XYZ. Instead of XYZ, I've considered as cat A, cat B, and the mouse because that is much more meaningful names when compared to XYZ. But here, what is the game? You are given Q queries. It's not one query. Whatever we wrote a program, it's about one query at one execution. But here they're going to give multiple queries in a single execution, right? Okay. Now let's see the input out here. It says like, for example, in case the number of queries is 2, they're going to give 2 such inputs, and each of the input will have the position of cat A, position of cat B, and the mouse. So if you have to incorporate the number of queries here, just go to the code and then add this number of queries here. So we'll try to add the number of queries. And then the loop should repeat q number of times. The loop should repeat q number of times. Right? So we can indent everything here, one step in. It's always good to indent. Fine. Okay. Now let's run this, but before this, let us try to look into this. We're going to give 2 queries, then 1, 2, 3, and 1, 3, 2. You should get cat B and cat mouse C. So let's go to this code here. We'll try to run this. Cats and mouse. What's the problem here? Q is undeclared. So let's go there, declare Q. Should never panic if you get any errors. Right? So at one side I like to keep this input, and the other side I'd like to execute this. Right? Number of queries is 2. In the first case, position is 1, 2, and 3. And see the output. What is the output? Cat B. Right? Then second case, it is 1, 3, 2. It's mouse. It's working perfectly fine. Now the program is good enough to be placed in the HackerRank. But only thing is we don't require this printfs. So what you can actually do it is you can comment it here itself, or once you paste it, you can comment all the printf which is not required, and then you can take the code from here and paste it in HackerRank environment. Fine. Yeah, these printfs are required. This is required. So only these messages, which was for our understanding, these messages was not required. So let me just save this and copy this code, and let me go to the online platform and try to paste it. When you look into this particular code out here, the default code which is provided as the initial template of HackerRank, you might see a lot of complications here, the pointers, pointer, and many such things out here, and files. Don't be worried about it. Whatever we have done, that should be good enough, right? You can just take that, delete it, just paste your code. You already commented which is not required. The print statements. Let us try to run this. Oh, so there is some issue. It's not mouse C, it is mouse. Okay. So we are supposed to write mouse C here. Okay, perfect. Let's pass the sample test case. See, just even the small problem with even a space or a character one, it creates an issue. Fine. So we did it perfectly fine. There is no problem in this particular code. So let me just show you out here. So what is the code? This uh, prints are not required. So I'm just going to remove this. I would strongly recommend that you retain this at the initial level so that you can understand what you need to enter. Otherwise, you might not know what is the input to be given. This is your code. If you want, you can read cat A, cat B, and mouse in a single line. Right? Such a simple program. And here it is mouse C always. Fine. Perfect. I hope you guys understood the problem and one of the use case of absolute. Thank you.